Merab Dvalishvili says Islam Makhachev needs to defend his lightweight title against Ilia Topuria next. He referenced a comment Islam made to him during the UFC 311 pre-fight press conference, where he told him to not make the belt look bad and to face the real contender Umar Nurmagomedov. Now Merab is returning the favor, telling Islam to stop ignoring the top contender Ilia Topuria.
Merab, I don't have nothing for you, just respect, but don't make the belt look bad, you know. When you have some real contender, just fight. This thing what I want to say, that's it.
So Ilia has to fight Islam Makhachev, especially he vacated his belt. And he's not anymore 145, and he's the best deserving contender for the 155 belt. But somehow Islam ignoring him. I'm sure you guys, everybody remember that Islam told me only one word in press conference: Merab, I respect you, but when you have a top contender, you should fight him. And I said, okay, I'm fighting. And but now he has a top contender as a Ilia Topuria, but he's not fighting because he's saying some other things. And we all agree that Ilia deserves this fight more, and hopefully this happening. But yeah, nobody criticized Islam like they was criticizing me.
Daniel Cormier explains why Michael Chandler is under the most pressure heading into UFC 314. Despite Chandler losing 4 of his last 5 fights, DC believes those losses didn't significantly affect his star power due to the high level of competition he faced. However, DC says a loss to Paddy Pimblett would be different, as Paddy represents the new generation, and that kind of setback will impact Chandler's career. On Good Guy, Bad Guy, DC said, I asked you earlier if the most pressure was on Volk. It's not, and I said I believe Chandler has more pressure. You want me to tell you why? Michael Chandler has found himself in a very, very hard to reach bit of company. He's that guy that win or lose, nothing really affects him, right? If he wins, people go, wow, that's amazing. Knocked out Dan Hooker. Kicked Tony Ferguson in the face. If he loses, man, him and Charles Oliveira. He had him. It was this close. About to become the champion. Charles got him. Not that big of a deal. Him and Dustin Poirier. He loses. Oh, that was a great fight. But Dustin got the job done. Submitted him. He fought Justin Gaethje. That was a tremendous fight. But Gaethje won. Charles Oliveira. He stood up with him and slammed him backwards. What I'm getting at, Chael, is Michael Chandler has fought in the UFC 6 times. He's won twice. If he loses again, now you're not losing to Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira. You're losing to the next generation. You cannot lose to the next generation guy. Demetrious Johnson says he believes Paddy Pimblett will eventually become a UFC champion.
I can't wait to see him get to the point where, like, I think one day he will be a champion. Like, I think if he doesn't be a champion, it will be like one of the guys who were really good who never became, like a Uriah Faber, right? Like, or Joseph Benavidez. Like, he does everything right as of now in this fight and the time in his career, and when he fought Bobby Green. Like, right away he started attacking that post arm immediately, and he's probably gonna look to pass guard.
Aaron Pico has officially signed with the UFC. He posted this to his Instagram. In the caption, he wrote, after years of hard work, dedication, and unwavering belief, I've officially signed with the UFC. This is more than just a dream come true. It's the beginning of a new chapter. Thank you to my family, my manager Ali Abdelaziz, coaches, training partners, and everyone who has supported me on this journey. Your belief in me has fueled my fire. The ultimate goal, to become a UFC champion. I'm ready to work harder than ever before to make that a reality. Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo disagree on who will win between Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett. Cejudo believes Paddy has the potential to pull off an upset victory, while Usman predicts a win for Chandler, expecting the fight to end by stoppage.
Yeah, you know what, Kamaru Dean, dude, I'm smelling an upset, bro. I think with Paddy Pimblett, dude, I think he's gonna bring in the grappling. I think he might pull guard on this dude, and I don't think his hands are not bad either, bro. But I think he could also force Michael Chandler to do something on the bottom.
You said pull guard?
He might. If he cannot take Michael Chandler down, he's more likely going to have to do that. But I just feel like Paddy Pimblett, he's a lot better than what I thought. and what he was able to do to Bobby Green, his transitional stuff, obviously him being on I want to say it's 9-fight, 8-fight win streak. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, we gotta put some respect on that dude's name. And he's only gotten better, bro. Like, I just feel like with Michael Chandler, I think the UFC know what they're doing, and they're doing a 5-rounder.
I'm gonna have to go with Michael Chandler here because I think this is also a crossroads for him. I know he waited for that counter fight for a long time and didn't materialize, but this is a crossroad because if you don't get through Paddy Pimblett here, now you have to really sit down and look at the career. Do I want to continue to do this? Because now I'm dropping fights to the younger guys that aren't as experienced as I am. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Michael Chandler here because I think he's gonna be close.
Via what? Via knockout? Via what? What's up, Kush? Be specific.
I can see a knockout.
Sean O'Malley recently had high praise for Paddy Pimblett. O'Malley was very impressed with Paddy's recent win over Bobby Green and says he really doesn't know who will win between Paddy and Michael Chandler. O'Malley said Paddy versus Michael Chandler is such an interesting fight. Michael Chandler is such a gangster for taking that fight. If he beats Paddy, that's still a big win. Maybe not in some people's eyes, but Paddy is f***ing skilled. What he did to Bobby Green was super. It's a big fight. Michael Chandler is a beast for taking that fight. Paddy's a beast. Paddy, what he wants to do is climb the rankings. I think that fight makes so much sense. I don't know who wins either. I feel like it's going to be very competitive. Pimblett is very sharp and he's very skilled. Alexander Volkanovski still believes a rematch with Ilia Topuria will happen at some point. Volk is confident ahead of his fight against Diego Lopez for the vacant featherweight title this weekend. He says he wants to prove doubters wrong who are saying he's old and done.
Well, I knew that it was either Ilia or him. You know, I knew there's other guys that, you know, might want a title shot, but I knew from how active he was and the position he put himself in from being that guy to fight anyone, anywhere, I knew that if there was going to be an interim, it would have been Lopez. So yeah, very, very excited because I think I've got the next best option. So it would have been Ilia, would have been my first option for the rematch. But the fact that I'm fighting for the vacant belt against a young, hungry guy in Lopez, that's the next best thing. Luckily, it dragged on where I'm like, just give me a fight. But I mean, I don't think that story's done yet. I plan on going out there, winning the belt, defending, and then we can maybe have a rematch. If he was to win the title in lightweight or whatever, even bigger, right? But if not, imagine me doing the rematch with him while I'm a defending champ again. It just adds to the story. That's perfect world right there, but we'll see. We'll see where everything goes. Yeah, I mean, it is. So I'm trying to tap into that as much as I can. But I mean, it's not like everyone's thinking. Everyone knows that, knows the situation. And I think a lot of people are expecting me to go out there and do my thing, but there are a lot of doubters as well. There's a lot of people that have every right to think that. Have every right to think that I'm old, I'm done, I'm coming off 2 losses. You know, they've got every right to think that. There's only one way to change their mind. Go and do what I plan on doing April 12th. So, can't wait.
Michael Bisping believes Alexander Volkanovski's age could be a significant factor in the outcome of his upcoming fight against Diego Lopez this weekend. At 36 years old, Volk is entering the later stages of his career, which Bisping suggests may impact his performance. Bisping also responds to the narrative that Volk's chin is gone and explains why he doesn't believe that to be true.
Yeah, so I hate bringing it up. It's the age of Volkanovski, right? Simple as that. You can't deny it. You can't avoid it. You can't look past it. It's just very, very relevant. We all know about the curse or the stats. Once they hit 35, no one's won a title fight, I believe. I think that's the stat. This flies doing my head in. And of course, he's lost 3 out of his last 4. Forget about the 2 to Islam Makhachev. That's going up to 155. They were a long time ago now as well. And then he fights Topuria. He was doing really well in that fight, but he was clipped. Regardless, he's had a year away. I don't think that this is a situation with Volkanovski to where the chin's gone. You know what I'm saying? You know, like some fighters, by the end of their careers, couldn't take a punch. Chuck Liddell, perfect example, you know?
Yep.
I don't think it's that far from it. It was Islam and Topuria back to back. No shame. Had a year away, coming back, fighting for the belt. Diego Lopez, fast, quick, very skillful. And think about this: if you're Volkanovski, if you think you're getting ready for Topuria again,
Yeah,
you know you've got to elevate
serious.
everything.
Yeah.
And if Volk's trying to elevate, who already trains with some of the best grapplers in the world, Craig Jones and stuff like that, trains with really, really good strikers, beat Max Holloway 3 times. All right, 2 of them are really, really close, but still, regardless, he beat Max Holloway 3 times, went on that crazy tear. The only thing that concerns me as a fan, and I want to say not friend, but I'd say I'm pretty pally with Volk. We have each other's phone numbers. Yeah, I'd like to say a friend, and Diego's awesome as well. The speed of Diego Lopez, I think that is gonna potentially be a factor. I'm not saying it will be. I'm just saying that's something that concerns me. The way he came out and dropped Brian Ortega when they fought, nearly had him finished in the first round. So it's gonna be explosive.
Magomed Ankalaev teases that he may be rematching Alex Pereira in August in Chicago. On X, he wrote, "Who likes deep dish pizza?" He followed up with, "1 month ago, I broke a lot of hearts. In August, Big Ank here to dunk Chicago Bull style." He ended it off with this. He wrote, "Big Ank coming to dunk." Bryce Mitchell got heated today when speaking on his upcoming fight with John Silva this weekend. Bryce says that Silva treats him like and says he plans to smash his face. Speaking to media, Bryce said he says that he loves Jesus, but he calls himself Lord, and he doesn't act like he loves Jesus. He doesn't treat me with respect, so I go based off of that. Based off my interactions with him, he does not have Jesus in his heart because he treats me like total shit. I'm not afraid to say that to his face. If you love Jesus, then treat people with respect, and that's not what he does. I think his feelings are very ill, and it's not going to be fun when he's getting his face smashed in. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to a thief breaking into Henry Cejudo's studio and stealing his UFC world title. The first one's from Ryzen1. It says, "Someone's wearing Henry's UFC belt on their wrist right now. Crazy." The second one's from the Gaming Lender. It says, "Cejudo is cringe, but you never want to see that happen to anyone." And the final one's from Cuts. It says, "So a car crashes into Cejudo's neighbor's house. Then a day or 2 later, his house gets robbed. I would move." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.